Guys, Deluded Guna here again, man. Deluded Guna here again. What was I gonna say? In the previous video, I don't feel I went as in depth as much as I wanted to in regards to players I feel are playing well and the players that are playing well. So let's get into it. Firstly, gotta take my hat off to Theo Walcott. I'm his biggest critic. I'm his biggest critic because I believe in the guy. Firstly, secondly, he's been at the Emirates. He's been at the Emirates for how long? Arsenal for how long? He was there at Highbury. He was around, surrounded by winners like Sol Campbell, Thierry Henry. So I feel he's the man players got to look at as to be Mr. Arsenal. You've been here. You know what the culture is about. You know what the club is like. People should look to you. You should be the general. And if we're honest, Theo should be that captain. Like if things worked out differently. So this year, fair play to him. The penny has dropped. I want him to carry on. I personally want to see 20 goals in all comps. And I'll leave you alone, Theo. But like I said, I believe in you. 11 goals, 3 assists. He's assisted in some big games as well and scored in some big games. Scored against Liverpool, Chelsea, City, even though that was shocking. And he's improved his defensive work as well, which doesn't get talked about. At times, he was a bit naive with the ball defensively. It was either last year or a couple seasons ago. Lost the ball against United and they scored. He's been known not to track runners. There's even been incidents this year where he's let a man cross a ball too easily. But for the most part, he's got a terrific partnership with Hector Bellerin, pressing well, doing his defensive work well. So I have no faults for Theo. Secondly, Hector Bellerin, 32 touches in the opposition's box, the most of any defender. Typifies the modern fullback, constantly up and down. Great recovery challenges, like the one on Pedro against Chelsea. We missed him when he was injured. He's constantly been involved in the build up to our goals, constantly involved in our playmaking, constantly offering an outlet. When he's not there, like when you saw with Carl Jenkinson and them sort of players, we play quite narrow and we're restricted. So quite simply, Bellerin is needed. He's still in some degrees a bit naive, like against Everton in the latter stages when Czech pulled forward to try and grab us a goal and be in the box for a corner. They countered, ball fell out to one of their players. Obviously the keeper's not in goal. Bellerin had the ball. Another situation that could have been a second goal for another goal for them. But he'll learn from that. He's improved 1v1, his 1v1s greatly. His final ball has improved greatly. His positional play has worked greatly. And he's got a terrific partnership with Theo, like they're constantly overlapping, constantly in communication. And Bellerin, a lot of people don't see this, but if you go to the matches or you watch closely on the TV, Bellerin's actually one of the most vocal. He's always telling people what to do, where to run and things like that. He's still got a long way to go, but he's a very good player, and he's only going to get better, and I'm happy Bellerin has signed a new deal, and he's here. Bellerin, Hector Bellerin. So yeah, next, Alexis. 14 goals, 8 assists. I don't even need to talk about Alexis. If you watched us, you know at times we've been Alexis FC. It's been the Alexis and Ozil show. It's been the Alexis and Ozil show. Alexis has just been doing it all. Saved us against PSG. What's it? A great goal against Chelsea. He's just a bit of luck about the free kick at Everton, but I'm an Arsenal fan. I'll give that as a great free kick all day long. Give the man whatever deal he wants. He's been here. He made us believe again. Like he made me as an Arsenal fan believe again. Like don't get me wrong, I loved Ozil when he signed, but when you saw Alexis, when you saw him sign that first year, it was like, yeah. He gets us out of our seats. He makes us believe again. And since he's been here till now, that's all he's been doing. He's been played through the middle up front, and he's up there with the top goal scorers in the Prem. So Alexis is definitely there. Like I don't need to expand any more on Alexis. Mesut Ozil needs to be there as well. Some fans, like I said in my previous video, gone from being top 3 in the world to easily replaceable. Added goals to his game. He needs to add assists because the assist record is not on this year. I'm confident he will. Has turned up in big games like the Chelsea one. I keep referring to the Chelsea one. He's constantly involved at the thick of it. And even against Hammers, he was great. He's constantly involved in the thick of it, constantly central to our plans. Has he had bad games? Of course, like the rest of them. But Ozil has been one of them this year as well, who's stood up to be counted. Xhaka, signed after a great Euros. We knew what we was going to get. We were getting someone who's rough and rugged, who can pass. Joined us, two great goals. One against Hull, and I can't remember who the other was. Two decent goals. I think it was Nottingham Forest. Was out of the side for a while, and we were questioning what's going on. He was clearly adapting. We were wondering what's going on. I personally wanted to see him sooner. question marks by people like me included. Is he dynamic enough? Is he robust enough to get up and down the field? He seems to have added that while he's adapting in recent weeks. He's added that. I think he covered the most ground against Bournemouth, and he made the most tackles against West Ham. After that, he's just been great, to be honest. He had a quick learning curve against Swansea when he got sent off and he made that error for Sigurdsson's goal. But other than that, Xhaka's been one of the players that in 9 times out of 10 has stood up to be counted, has made constant passes. I would like to see him stamp his personality a bit more, because I still think personally he still looks a tiny bit out of place, like he's still a bit in his shell. But it's so far so good, and Xhaka's been one of them players this year. He's a great partnership with Coquelin. I still think it's developing, and I don't think they're dominating games as much as they would like to, but a great partnership between them two developing, especially against Spurs when they were outnumbered and they still managed to retain shape well. So yeah, he's been great this year, and he'll only get better, and he's still adapting. It's crazy. Next, you guessed it, Francis Coquelin. Not as glamorous as some midfielders in our side, not the type to hit crossfield 50, 60-yard balls, but what he has is something most of these midfielders don't have. He's not afraid to put his foot in. He can win a ball. He can protect her back four. He's a better passer than people give him credit for. 38 Premier League games alone. Depending on how far you go in the champs, I don't know how many games you got. But there's going to be games where you can't dominate possession and assert yourself, especially as an Arsenal fan or as an Arsenal team. You can't do that. So Coquelin is vital. Even if Coquelin was on the bench, you can bring him on to shut games out. People that say Coquelin is not needed in this Arsenal squad, or a player of that sort of skill set or does them things, isn't a real football fan that doesn't know what they're talking about. Because you can't have pretty boys doing pretty football 24/7. And Coquelin has showed up to be counted. Big games, even games we haven't played well and we've grinded out. Even games we've done right, lost, drawn. Coquelin has been one of the better performers even in a poor game. So Coquelin is there. After Coquelin, Mustafi. I was ecstatic when we signed Mustafi. Ecstatic. You know why? Because I knew what we was getting. I knew we was getting someone who's vocal, someone who's not scared to bring the ball forward and things like that. Great partnership with Koscielny. Suitable partner for Koscielny now. What else? The PSG game away early in the season is when I really took him in. Because when we went a goal down, I was looking for reactions. He was shouting at Ox for one, making a mistake, and two, not pulling forward enough. He constantly tells people to pull forward. He brings the ball up himself. And he's a leader. And that is what, quite frankly, we need in this side. We lost against Everton and City. Imagine if he was there. We had enough to beat them teams. Don't get me wrong. We should have won them games. I'm not saying we shouldn't. But imagine Mustafi was there. We might have even lost. But I guarantee it wouldn't have been in a fashion like that. So Mustafi's there. On a side note, I'm not happy with the clean sheets. That we haven't been keeping any clean sheets. It's not really giving Mustafi the credit that partnership deserves. And finally, we've got the Ox. 6 goals, 6 assists. It's best. The penny dropped like Theo. Penny had to have dropped for Ox. He knew he's been here for how long. Contract up in 2018. 23 years of age. Needs to start showing it. And he's showing it. I personally believe he should have retained his place in the side a few times. I think he's only completed 90 minutes once. That's very harsh on him. He's turned up in big games. Even when he's been on the bench and not really had much minutes and stuff like that, he's affected the game. You look at United, when we weren't playing well, came on, set up Giroud. So the Ox has been one of the best performers at this stage in the season for me. Couple honourable mentions. Iwobi. I feel Iwobi didn't start the season at his best because he was injured. Been brilliant. Was brilliant against City in my opinion. Poor performance, but he done his defensive work very well. He deserves it. Czech's declining, having problems at his near post. Deserves it. Has saved us of many games where we've won and we've had the other teams had a lot of shots and we've been being naive. Even the 2 games that have just gone, Everton's City, we were poor. He was great and we were poor and he saved us a bit. Yes, he was at fault for a few goals, but that's about it. Gabriel, I'll give him a shout. Got his critics, came into the side, took his chance at right back, playing all right at centre back, was nervous against City. But yeah, in conclusion, those are the players I feel at this present moment in time are pulling their weight and doing stuff. I may have forgotten someone. Don't shoot me. But yeah, I'm finished. Get in the comment box. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, all of that. Deluded Guna 04. You can find me. Get in the comment box. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I just hope you enjoy it. I'm out.